This video is sponsored by Christoph Frey. For excellent poly horror games, check the link in the description below for some of his works. What's up, y'all? Boogie Knight here, and welcome to Season 2 of Survive the Blackout. It has been a long time coming, and I am very, very excited to get back into this. For those of y'all that are joining me for Season 2, welcome back. It's good to have you returning to the madness with me. For those of y'all that haven't seen Season 1, let me just give you a quick overview. This is Survive the Blackout. It's an indie squad-based adventure-ish kind of game. It is currently available on Steam, so if you like what you see, I'll put a link in the description below. The reason I'm not really too sure about how to put what kind of genre this is because there's a myriad of things. It is squad-based, and we'll get into that in a minute or two. But think of it like a choose-your-own-adventure game. You pick different decisions based on instances, and the cool thing about this is your choices matter very often, whether in the short run or in the long run. Now, the reason this is a seasonal-based, I guess, series, for lack of a description, was A, Season 1 ended on a cliffhanger. In short, on the last episode that I was trying to record, my final character died after one instance. So I just said, you know what? There's so many different avenues to take, so many different characters to choose from. Let's just do a 2, maybe 3 season-long series about this. But I really do enjoy it. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with y'all, whether this is your first time seeing the series or you're returning to it. Now, a couple things I do want to get out of the way before we proceed. One, for transparency's sake, this was gifted to me by the developers, Baby Bison Games. So a big, big thank you to Baby Bison for this. I've really enjoyed it so far, and I can't wait to see what this season's going to unfurl. Now, secondly, this is like the second or third attempt at Season 1, Season 2, because my characters keep dying, for lack of a better description. So, a couple things I've done. First of all, we all know in Season 1, for those of y'all that have watched, the quick time events wrecked me. So I have disabled QTEs, and I'm not sure if that's going to disable all of these things, or if it's just going to decrease the time limit. But I've also, for the sake of this, started the game on easy mode. Now, before you Lloyds out there start being, oh, Boogie Knight has to play on easy, he can't handle it. Okay, Lloyd, shut up. Have you played this game? It's a lot more in-depth and a lot more difficult than you think. However, we do have the ability to change the difficulty later on in the game. So I figure if we just do this for the first part, start building up some stuff, we can always switch it back to normal. So, for that being said, enough is enough. Let's dive back into the madness. This is Season 2 of Survive the Blackout. Let's do this.
We couldn't have anticipated this. No one could. 3 months ago, all electric devices overcharged and burned out. People called it the Blackout. Accidents and disasters that followed it took a toll on the population. No family was unharmed by the blackout. Cut off from the rest of the country and unable to find any authorities, all we could do was watch our world fall apart. Chaos ruled the streets. Nowhere was safe. Then the light appeared, a beacon of hope in the dark. Our choices were stay here and die, or try to reach it. We were luckier than most. We found the doctor and he knew the way to the light. He convinced us that there was still hope and took care of us. When we doubted, with his nerve and strength, he reassured that we were safe and in good hands. This morning we found him, his own light extinguished. It is up to us to reach the light now.
Okay, so that is the intro. Now, if you guys couldn't tell, the graphics are definitely on the retro pixelicious low poly / low res side, and first of all, I really love that because it stands out in comparison with other post-apocalypse games. So here is our leader screen. Now we have 6 different characters to choose from as a leader. However, I did say this was squad-based. the other 2 characters in your squad are randomly generated, and it changes throughout the course of when you start a new game. But each character is unique in their own way. For starters, we have Sarah. She's listed as a survivalist. Now, each character has their own, I guess, not ideology, but their own personality. So Sarah and Alex are both survivalists. Boris and Anne are both idealists. So the decisions you make will impact the morale of the party, and I'll get into that in a minute or so, depending on what you do. So the survivalists might not agree with the idealists and vice versa. Now, these 4 characters were available in the beginning, but these other 2 characters were unlocked, so I have no idea who these people are. We'll take a look in a second, but also each character has their own set of skills that are unique to possibly overcoming various instances in the game. For example, I do know that Boris is listed as kind of a very, very strong individual. Alex, for example, has the tinkering mechanism. Sarah is kind of like a scout, or maybe even like a thief, because she's very quick, hence her cat-like smile. Anne has the ability to kind of appeal to people's more sensitive side. So let's take a look at these characters.
Right.
So we have Jack. He used to work for Prime Fashion magazines to make a sudden change in his career profile and became a war photographer. Still hopeful and kind, his intuition and good eye for detail let him see through people. He's listed as a loner. Now, this is new to me, because once again, in Season 1, I only had these 4 characters to work with. And I believe Alex was my main... Alex and Boris, they were one of my 2 main characters. And let's see who this person is.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Sanvi. Came to the country to study marketing that opened a thriving business. Sanvi was the best in her field, and she could easily talk everyone to her ideas. Might seem fragile, but her inner strength carried her through life's turmoils. Idealist. Okay, and also before I proceed, just so y'all know, Baby Bison is Swedish, so there may be a few minor translation issues. It doesn't impact the gameplay, but I know some reviews on Steam have been less than kind towards that, strictly because of the translation. So if you do notice anything, don't worry about it. I have reached out to Baby Bison during Season 1, offered translation help, but that's just my opinion. So we have all these different people to choose from. Now, I've already know how to deal with idealists and survivalists, but I don't know about the loner. So I think we're going to select Jack as the leader, and let's see what the other characters are like. Oh, this is interesting. So we have a loner, we have an idealist, and we have a survivalist. This is kind of like the best of all worlds, I guess. We'll see. Now, before we get into this, I do want to go over a few things. Each character has a health-based system, a satiety, aka hunger, stamina, and morale. Now, satiety and stamina will drop during each instance, and you'll see that as we go. Health is based upon encounters with maybe an attack, maybe an injury based upon an incident or not anything like that, and morale is based upon the choices you make. Now, we also have an inventory system. We have medicine, food, energy drinks, and mood boosters, also known as booze. We also have the ability to set up camp, but we can only do that between instances, and we can't use any of this inventory unless we're at camp. So inventory and resource management is key to this, and that is what has given me so much grief, not just in Season 1, but leading up to this point in Season 2. Now here's what our first instance is. Yesterday we had a clear goal set by the doctor. We were to find his old friend Frank to stock up for the road. Today we found the doctor outside like that. He left us. Why did he do that? Now we have options to choose from. Now if Boris was in our party, we could have selected his choice, but since we don't, we only have these 3 to work with. We have to bury the body. We should hurry. Let's gather our stuff and move, or let's search the body, then bury the doctor. Let's go ahead and search the body. What's this? So we did get one chunk of medicine. We took the body down and began searching it. It wasn't a pleasant task, but we found a few items, some cigarettes, a lighter, unmarked medicine, and a letter. So we have more choices here. Leave the letter, take the items, but read the letter later. Read it out loud. We shouldn't have any secrets, or destroy the letter. I believe we left the letter with the body in Season 1. So let's go ahead and take the items, but read the letter later. So we got a suicide letter. This means it's been added to our inventory, which we can examine at camp. One of us read the letter. Someone had to know what it contained. For now, we shouldn't let it disturb us from the mission. We will look at it when we have more time. Let's go, or we don't have time for letters now. Now, usually these things happen at the end of an instance, and it doesn't impact morale or anything like that. This is strictly for our own, I guess, benefit, maybe. I tend to vie things more on the proactive side because I never know if it's going to cause a morale issue later on. So let's say let's go. With heavy hearts, we came back to the house. The doctor's backpack stood on the table, a painful reminder of his absence. We were about to move out. This was our last stop. So we can search the house, we can take a look at the doctor's belongings, or we can just get out. So here's something I do want to convey about instances. Sometimes when you select one instance, the other instance becomes unavailable. I know this because in Season 1, I wanted to look at the doctor's belongings, but the house search disappeared after that. That's what stuck with me. Now, I would 9 times out of 10 want to recommend searching property because there can be various things that we want to do. So unless the situation seems less than ideal, we really do need to do that. So let's go ahead and search the house. So now we're in house search mode, and this is the same case with any building that you are able to search. We have 4 different options to choose from. Sometimes there'll be more, sometimes there'll be less. However, each time you select something, the danger level will go up. Now, from what I encountered in Season 1, when this capped out, we hit a QTE, a quick time event. So I would really recommend, unless you have some form of a weapon, which I never got in Season 1, get out before the red line caps. So let's just go. We do have more than enough time to do it in this area, so let's just go from left to right. Nothing. Damn. We found food. Brilliant. So see how it keeps rising? And we're going to talk about resource management in a minute. More food. Excellent. That is good. I try to maintain close to 3 food if possible. And nothing. Not again. Let's move on. We should move on now. Now, at least we tried. Go to our camp, prepare for the journey ahead, or let's go. We're not going to go to the campsite yet, but this presents the option for the idealist. This might, I say might, boost morale with Anne. So we set off. I hope we'll not regret it. Okay, so see how stamina and satiety drop? Now, the higher in difficulty go, the more this plummets. Normal, it doesn't look bad now, but when you're short on food, oh yeah. Because once satiety hits 0, you're dead. There is no variance. There is no margin of error. When that happens, you're brown bread. You ain't coming back. All right. So sometimes there'll be little dialogues between the characters, and I just realized, hang on one second. We didn't go over their bios. So let's start with Sarah. A survivalist. We have her story here. Each character has something they can hold, something they can wear, and various basic literature. Now this thing here, this is where we find out what their hidden skill is. In Sarah's case, Viper's agility. You can silently scout most places without being noticed. We have Anne, an idealist. She's on her own. The kid, you are small and underestimated. I noticed with Anne, since there are times we'll run into families, occasionally using Anne to do that kind of helps. It's more of a morale-based thing than any of a kind of hard-based tactic, but in certain cases, it works. But let's go ahead and look at Jack. I know I said I hadn't really seen much about him, but that's mainly because Sanvi was the one I selected in the last 2 instances that ended up in our untimely death. He's a loner, never type of a family guy, but we have an eye for detail. You notice what others would overlook. So coupling Jack with Sarah, I think this is going to be a great combination. So we're at our next instance. We saw a shopping center on the horizon, always crowded before the blackout. Now is completely derelict, like a place from horror stories. Okay, so we obviously can look. We don't have so much time, or we can have Sarah check it out. This will probably drop Sarah's stamina, but we should take a look. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Most of the shops were ransacked already. Sarah stopped by the wedding dress shop and froze. She wanted to wait for the group outside. Sarah, we need you now. Come with us. We shouldn't. This might impact her morale. As you can see, the little glowing thing here, this probably has an impact on her personally. I'm not going to click it. Let's go ahead and look for supplies without Sarah. Leave her to her own devices. So we got booze and we got more food. Excellent. We found something, but without her, we couldn't take everything with us. So if we had her with us, this could give us the chance to take more supplies, but it would probably drop her morale. When we were back, we saw her smoking at the entrance. She was her old self again. We support you, Sarah. Let's go ahead and say we support you. So that upped her morale. So that's good news for us. Now, also, when morale hits 0, they die. I know, we're just going crazy with that. Okay, so now here's the other thing I do want to convey. The instances, some are scripted, but others are RNG. So this will really keep you on your toes. So there are certain things that will pop up that I will remember, but I would say probably 70 to 75% of everything is RNG, random number generated based. So the area we were passing through didn't seem as ransacked as other places we'd been to. We started talking about the possibility of finding a store or a warehouse that didn't get looted yet. We don't have buddies, so we can't do anything, so let's try looking together, but let's try looking around but stick together for safety. This might impact our stamina. It did not. We couldn't find any untouched store, but there was a truck containing canned goods and some tools. Not much, but better than nothing. We had to figure out how to get inside. So we have Sarah to easily open the door. Boris, let's break a window and open the truck. I've run into this a couple of times in Season 1. I thought Anne could have had an opportunity, but let's go ahead and use Sarah. Sarah picked a lock on the back of the truck. We got more food. Excellent. Yeah, okay, Lloyd, I hear you say, oh, this looks so easy. Trust me, Lloyd, it's not. Watch Season 1 if you're going to poo-poo this, because resource management, like I said, became very difficult on normal mode. God forbid, hard mode. All we had to do after that was gather the supplies. Everything went nice and smooth. We were lucky this time. Too bad we didn't manage to find more. Let's stay positive. We were lucky. So we got at least one of each. Okay. A roof glimpsed behind tree crowns. It was quiet around here. Go to the house, look around for a human presence. We shouldn't go off track. This gives us an opportunity to check more real estate, so we should probably go to the house. And we're still early enough in game. We'll see what happens. After we walked through a torn down fence and weeded front yard, we were at the door of the place. This place looked rather rugged and poor from the outside. Its interior told the same. Look for some kitchen. Are those rats? Let's go ahead and ask if those are rats. We saw rat droppings lying around and now started to smell something, and it wasn't pleasant. I know usually if there's dead bodies, that has a tendency to drop morale as well as stamina depending on the action, so we should probably just look around quickly. We didn't find anything. We didn't want to get involved in anything or find anything we wouldn't want to see. All we found were some family photos and old bills. The place still reeked, but we didn't want to check that. Let's go. Now, we're actually going to take a quick pit stop and set up camp because I want to show you the campsite. Alright, so there's a lot of different things we can do in the camp. We can sleep in the tent. I'm not going to click on that. Now, when we do decide to go to sleep, it will raise stamina depending on the level of sleep you want to do. You can do a short break, kind of a medium nap, or a long sleep. And depending on what you do, will raise your stamina, but it will drop your hunger. So once again, resource management is key. Now, if we click on the characters, let's just start with Sarah. We can manage resources. Now, this is where we can either take medicine, eat something, take a stamina drink, or booze if our mood is in the crapper. Let's go ahead and open our inventory. So we have a blanket. Necessary for good night's rest, enhanced stamina increase, and the letter. The doctor's testimony of lost hope. Something broke him, sacrifices, or the road. Okay. And we also have the ability to talk with others. This is just strictly for backstory. It's entirely optional. It doesn't have an impact on anything else, but let's just go ahead and talk. Hey. You're strange, Jack. Why? You're like Sarah, but you talk more. Shade. Just little things like that. It's kind of clever like that. You'll see these things pop up occasionally. And something I do want to point out is you see the light here in the background. So let's continue burning daylight. We've only been playing for about 20 minutes, so we'll play for another about 15. and see what comes up. We packed up the camp swiftly. The light awaits us. I do love the scenery in the background. This is really cool. I really enjoy how that happens. You see the clouds moving. You get to see them moving. What's that noise? We'll get to that in a second, Sarah. Hang on. I think this is a really well-designed thing. I mean, it's basic, but you're not doing it for the graphics. You're doing it for the story. So we stopped by nearby ruins and slipped off our backpacks. It was so peaceful here that we left them there and walked a few steps away. Then we heard a strange sound behind us. Move there carefully. Who's there? Ignored. It's probably nothing. Let's go ahead and move carefully. We frightened a scrawny girl that searched through our backpack. She didn't manage to steal anything. We were lucky. We could teach her a lesson, or we could drive her off, or if we had Alex or Sandvi, we could probably get a little more dirt. Huh, Jack's morale went up. Interesting. Maybe it's because we found something? I don't know. I missed that. Let's just drive her off. I don't want to hurt her. The girl ran as fast as she could. We could continue on our journey with our supplies intact. Morale didn't drop. I'm happy about this. Let's move on. I love how Jack still has this. Oh, God. Oh, okay, so here we go. So I don't see. Now, if this was a QTE, we would see a bar here decrease rapidly. And that was my bane because A, I didn't have the opportunity to read these things. As we walked by a truck wreck, an armed woman jumped at us. Give me your food now, she demanded. She looked desperate. Running away was not an option for now. We can give her food. I obediently... I don't know how much we're going to lose, so... Sarah? Oh, this is going to drop Anne's morale. Let's refuse. So we lost some health and morale. That's okay. Suddenly she jumped at us. She fiercely fought like a wild cat as if this was her last chance survival. She didn't shoot even once, just beat us with a pistol grip, then ran away. Okay, so I figured that was unarmed, but I figure if we attacked her, Anne will probably take massive offense to that. She took offense regardless. We won't understand such people in the future. We should have given her some food. If only we were armed. Let's say we won't underestimate. I don't know how freak will find weapons. That's the problem. We approached an abandoned petrol station. The place was deadly calm. Let's get inside. It's probably searched. We need to. Because right now, I think we need to... I'm looking at our inventory, and we need medicine. The main store is utterly devastated, but one of the walls looked like it could be breached. Maybe that way we could get into another store. Yeah, let's look around. Okay. Good, we got some meds. Nothing. Hey, more food, and nothing. Okay, cool. Nothing else? I think that was well done. If we can get one more medicine, I'll feel a little more comfortable. It made a grim impression as we left the place. Okay, let's move on. I like how Sarah's got her helmet in the background, too. I like that whistling in the background. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'll try and crank up the volume a little bit in post. We heard a man whistling somewhere along the road. Let's go to the man. None of our business. Yeah, let's go. Singing became a low hum as we approached the place. A man was bending over a young boy, searching his pockets, mumbling something under his breath. What are you doing? Observe, or we should meddle. Let's find out what he's doing. The man, clearly scared by our intrusion, jumped and dashed, leaving us alone with the unconscious young lad. Go after him, help him, rob him, or leave. We could rob him, but let's just see if we can help. So he didn't lose anything. Waking the boy wasn't easy. When he finally opened his eyes, he wasn't too happy he was still alive. What? Why? Someone needs you for sure? Don't say anything. Yeah, somebody needs you. The boy exclaimed that he sacrificed all he had for a girl and she tricked and rejected him. The story of my life. You will find good people along the way. You can't trust anyone. You're better off on your own. You'll find good people. Let's see if we can boost his morale. The boy felt better. He even wondered about reaching out to his family again. For now, he just wanted to be left alone to rest. Okay, so that didn't take any morale issues or anything like that. That's fine. Let's go ahead and move on. It was scorching hot. We got off the road into the forest to enjoy some shade. Marching underneath the trees, we came across a dead deer. Flies all over it. It started to smell. What killed it? Let's get a closer look. It looks fresh enough to eat. No. That will probably drop our health. Let's leave the carcass. This will drop our stamina, so let's leave it where it is. A dead deer was an unpleasant, but not an extraordinary sight. We would love some venison, but in this heat, the meat was probably long spoiled. It's no use to us. Maybe we'll find some berries. Yeah, move on. We saw a man in a big traveler's hat. His bags were neatly packed. He Who is that? Rob him, leave him alone. Yeah, let's see who he is. He gazed at us from under the brim of his hat and smiled widely. He was happy to see we carried goods for trade. We could trade. If Sanvi was here, we could bargain. But let's just ask him if he has any exciting news. I want to hold on to our food. We could probably trade food for meds, but here's the thing too, is when it comes to trading, sometimes it's quantity for quantity. Sometimes it'll be like 2 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 2, so on and so forth. Oh, sorry, never mind. Sorry, that was Ray. I will get back to her in a few minutes, as well as a tweet from Connor. Hey, Connor, good talking to you, bud. I'll get back to you soon. Yeah, let's ask for any exciting news. We gotta help those people. So, stamina and morale went up. That's cool. The salesman sighed. The city plunged into even bigger chaos than before and was filled with the constant infighting. It's a pity we can't cooperate. Chaos is everywhere. We're better off alone. It's survival of the fittest. We're gonna leave this blank. I think... Let's go with the loner approach. Oh, good lord. A group of kids appeared out of nowhere and started to throw stones at us. Stop them. They're only kids. Avoid the rocks. Get away from their range. We're probably going to take health whichever way you slice it. Well, we say stop them. It looks like Anne will take damage. So you see her heart is glowing. Get away from the range. Sarah's gonna... and Anne will take... All three of them will. They're only kids. Avoid... Let's go ahead and stop them. So Anne took some damage. Damn it. The kids ignored our attempts to stop them. Some of them retreated, but new stones started to hit us. You little bastards. Something is off. Yeah, something is off. We tried to cover ourselves from the stones while we saw a bunch of enraged adults shooting off to protect their children. Trap. At least we're alive. Okay, cool. On our way, we spotted a rustic house untouched by the blackout. The half-open door looked as if the house was left in a hurry. The family car still stood in the driveway. Checked the car. Probably not, because we don't have Alex. Alex is the handyman. I know Boris is the strong man. Let's go ahead and search the house. Hey, perfect. Notice when we opened the door, danger did go up. Long forgotten student handbooks. Hardly any university will still be open now. Maybe when we finally get from our knees after the blackout, we will go back to the sciences. Or will we? We won't use it. Nothing. More food. Brilliant. Nothing. We found nothing. Okay. It's time to go on. Let's go. Why is that lady crying? While we walked down the road, we heard crying from a nearby ditch. A woman asked us for help. What shall we do? We can help her. We can't help her. We have to check on her. Let's go ahead and use Anne, that poor woman. We have to help her. I think we've used this. I'm not sure. We have enough food. We have okay medicine. Okay. The woman broke her leg while she searched for food for herself and her little daughter. She was lucky that we found her. Anne crunched at her feet, clearly concerned. Let's help her with what we have. Let's go ahead and give her a medicine. Okay, that's fine. We managed to make a stiffener for her leg, so Anne's morale jumped for her leg and shared medical supplies with her. She thanked us with tears in her eyes. Now she could get back to her little daughter. We did something good. Let's hope she will survive. We shouldn't have shared her supplies. Let's hope she'll survive. Okay. While walking down the road, we found a broken bike, and a dried up body of a postman lying next to it. His bike was beyond repair. We should search him, or we should check his bag. I believe this is scripted. Possibly. I've encountered it twice. This is the third instance. Let's go ahead and search him. So we got more energy drinks. Good news. We found some energy bars on his long dead body. Letters were scattered all around, and some were stained with blood. Probably his murderer already took what he had valuable on him. Yeah, let's open some letters. Up their morale and our stamina even more. Hell yes. Going through letters, we found fragments of stories, people trying to find their loved ones or worrying about the future. The postman carried not only paper, but also people's hopes. It was exciting, but we have to go on. We will remember that. Positivity. Why do you need this helmet? For protection? Oh no, this one. On the way, we found an empty overpass. Something heard crying coming from below. Was it a child crying? What shall we do? Let's check. We have to do this. As we approached, we saw an unconscious woman holding a baby in her arms with a bag kept close to herself. The baby stopped crying when it saw us. We took care of the kid. The mother's still there. We could take the bag. That's not going to do anything. This is going to drop morale insanely if we don't help her. We're going to lose medicine, but we have to. We revived the woman. She fell unconscious after she fled from bandits, but her husband wasn't so lucky. She thanked us. She hadn't eaten in days. Let's go ahead and give her some food. We have 6. It's okay. The woman would never forget our kindness. Even the baby smiled at us. We shared some more supplies with her, and we moved on. So in Season 1, if I remember correctly, morale dropped by like 30%. Obviously, we're okay here, but once again, when morale drops to 0, a character also dies via, shall we say, seppuku? Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to get flagged for bad language. Let's move. We did something good today. We have to take care of ourselves. We're going to get more. I'm comfortable with this. We found a sign nailed to one of the trees. We were near Frank's camp, the one that, according to the doctor, was supposed to help us. So much time. Don't give in to hope yet. Let's look around. Let's look around. See, we got some food back. Brilliant. Of course, this is definitely scripted. I don't know when it appears, but it is scripted. We're cool. We looked around and found an old stash nearby. One of the food rations were still useful. If people from the camp had stashes like this one around the site, they were probably doing well. It's suspicious. It might be a trap. It could be wise. It could be a little bit sus. We were happy to get some food, but something was wrong. If the people from the camp were giving it out like that, they were bound to attract trouble. You know what? Let's go ahead and set up camp and do some management. So what we're going to do is we're going to sleep. See, we have short break, short nap, long sleep, do something else. So we're going to take a short nap. Not that we need to, but I just want to show you how it impacts everything else. So this dropped, health went up just a hair, stamina went up. So let's go ahead and eat something. Jack, we're going to manage the resources. We can select from medicine, which we don't have, food, energy drinks, and booze. Now, interestingly enough, you can't give booze to Anne because she's a minor. So let's eat. Yes. Should he use it? Yes. So let's go ahead and see how high this climbs. Okay, brilliant. It usually, if it's in the red, it'll climb to about halfway. So I think it's probably 3 will fill them up from 0 to full. So Sarah, boom, yep. And then we'll probably do one more instance after this. And then call it a night. Because I do need to link up with Ray in a few. So all 3 of them, health looks good. Everything else looks good. Let's hit the road. I like the music in this too. Ah, crap. As we walked by an abandoned petrol station, we heard a gunshot, then a bullet ricocheted off the wall above our heads. What shall we do? We have to hide quick behind that wreck. Drop to the ground. Let's run. This will drop our stamina and probably morale. Let's go behind the wreck. Morale dropped a little bit, but not much. We hid behind a car wreck. One more gunshot bounced to the car. Whoever it is, he's shooting at us. We have to run. We should scatter and run ahead. Let's wait for the next shot, then run. Yes. Good. No changes. We waited, but nothing happened. There was only silence. Maybe the attacker ran out of bullets, or perhaps he or she gave up. Let's run while he's still silent. No more shots followed us as we ran away. Perhaps our shooter didn't have too many bullets. We're fortunate. We will run until we feel safe. We were fortunate. Oh god. Smoke was slowly rising from a mansion before us. Not gonna make a Terrence Howard joke. No one from my team is watching this. The last remnant of fire must have flickered below. What shall we do? We should probably keep going. I'm thinking about this because if we go in there, there's a chance the floor could collapse, the ceiling could collapse. There's a myriad of things that could happen to us. So let's just move on. As much as I want to get medicine, there will be other opportunities to scavenge. And it didn't drop anything. The road stretched out into the horizon, calling us to take up the journey. We considered looking around before moving on. Let's decide. We don't have the cane. We could do this, Anne. But I think Jack, because he's got the eye for detail. Let's see what he says. We should move while we can before we get tired. The road stretches out to the horizon, calling for us to take up the journey before moving around. We might want to look around first. Should we go as far as possible, as fast as possible, look around the area, go on, but conserve strength? Let's send Sarah. Sarah quickly vanished in the fog. She came back just as we were starting to worry, and she found something. We don't have time. Let's go to the place she found. So we lost a few things. That's okay. As we moved down the road, we noticed an old fast food restaurant next to the road. We immediately became hungry at the thought of snacks and coffee we'd hope to find there. So if we didn't have Sarah with us, we probably wouldn't have found this, so we could check it. Oh, there used to be toys in there. Let's get inside through the back door, or it's empty. Let's go with Sarah. She's been good so far. Through the open door, we saw a man pacing around the restaurant holding a gun. He didn't see us. Take what we can and run. So we got booze. While we searched the room, one of the storage boxes fell to the ground. Someone rushed to us from the main hall. We grabbed something last minute and fled, barely avoiding the gunshots. We were lucky. We need to be more careful. Let's go. We need to be more careful. Okay. Okay, I think I remember this cove. We noticed that someone was following us for the past couple of hours and was getting closer. We couldn't be sure of that person's intentions. What if the man follows us? Let's move faster, try to lose him. Ignore him, he's just a traveler like us. Or let's just wait for his reaction if we had buddies. Let's just go ahead and ignore him. I think I remember this. Soon he took off in a different turn all the way and disappeared. He was harmless. We sighed with relief when we noticed his absence. Okay, so we're gonna set up camp. Because this is as good a place as any to stop for the night. We've got a good idea about what's happening. Obviously we need meds, but we've got decent resources. So if we can find places to scrounge meds next episode, that would be grand. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far, as much as I am. I love the idea about choices mattering. I like how each individual has their own perks and skills, as well as detriment to others based upon their ideology. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you like, what you dislike. I read every comment. I try to reply to every comment. Then if there is any kind of constructive feedback you want to leave for Baby Bison, let me know specifically and I will forward it on to the developers. Speaking of Baby Bison, a big thank you to them once again for this game. I'm very much enjoying it and I hope my playthrough, again, is doing y'all justice. Also, of course, a big thank you to Christoph Frey for being the sponsor of the Boogie Night project. I'm not going to go into details because, hey, a developer gave me this game, and I don't want to step on their toes, but y'all already know my loyalty to Christoph, so we'll leave it at that. So with that being said, before I call it a night, if you like the Boogie Night project and you want to find out more, I do have a Twitter page as well as a public Discord channel, and links to both of those are in the description below, as well as a link to my temporarily defunct Twitch page. And hey, if you want to do something to support the project, while I do appreciate every comment, like, subscription, share, feedback, it goes beyond the Call of Duty, and I'm really grateful. But if you are morbidly curious in seeing how you can help me get a new rig, yeah, funny story, I do have a Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive content, such as the Patreon-only section of my Discord, as well as patron-exclusive uploads, and I do take patron picks. Now, how that's relevant to my computer is all the money I get from my patrons is built up. Right now, I'm saving to get some RAM to see if that kind of puts a poultice on things, because my computer is a piece of junk. And eventually leading up to getting a new rig. That is where everything goes. Nothing more, nothing less. So to all my sexy patrons that have been kind enough to continue pledging, my gratitude knows no bounds. Otherwise, with that being said, I hope y'all have a fantastic night. And I will catch y'all on the flip side, alright? Peace. Hey y'all. While my gratitude knows no bounds for every single bit of love and support y'all have shown for me over the years, there are a few people that I legitimately want to take a few minutes to thank for their unending help and support. First of all, obviously, Christoph Frey, not just for being a sponsor of the Boogie Night Project, but also for letting me use his music from GABA Transistor in my streams, as well as him kind of coming up with his own little fragment for my new introduction to the Boogie Night Project. And speaking of introductions, the intro as well as my YouTube banner page were done by the amazing Oren. You might know him as Oren VDK, as well as Oren from Couple Cakes. Thank you so much, Oren. I really do appreciate the time you took to put together everything from the banner to the beautifully done introduction that merged perfectly with Christoph's music from GABA Transistor. So big thank you to them. And also, this would not be possible with the help of my extremely amazing patrons, both current and former, such as Lexi Kitty, Silverleaf, Barry Grave, Harkov, Jeray, Larian, and Oren, as well as a few others that have come and gone over the years. Y'all, this would not be possible without your help and your support. I know I have not been able to provide much in the way of giving back in Patreon rewards, but I am in the process of revamping my Patreon as well as the rewards that I can do, so be prepared. I know I joke about it, saying that if you're morbidly fascinating, check it out, but if you do want to give to the Boogie Night Project, that is the easiest way to do so, and I am legitimately setting aside funds to buy more hardware for my computer, as well as making things look more professional. But once again, very big thank y'all to everybody who has supported me from the beginning all the way to the present, as well as those individuals that have gone out of their way to help. So once again, guys, thank you so much for all your constant love and support. My gratitude knows no bounds, and I'll catch you on the flip side, all right? Peace.